Guys, what's up? Darcy here at Six Strings Nine Lives, here today to review the brand new 17th studio album from the mighty Accept, sixth album to feature Mark Tornillo on vocals, or sixth album since they reformed in 2010. I've been a huge fan of this band since, roughly 1983. Never missed a release after that. Also a huge U.D.O. Dirk Snyder fan, obviously, and the band U.D.O. And I am in the camp of there's room for both of these bands. I am just happy that, Accept was on a hiatus from probably 1996 till 2010. There was plenty of U.D.O. albums. I think they have now 18 studio albums. I've done a ranking on that too if you want to check that out. So today I'm going to take a look at this brand new studio album from Accept, kind of go through the tracks and just give you a little bit of my thoughts on this album. And then at the end, what we're going to do is we're going to rank, we'll do a little bit of a mini ranking of the Mark Tornillo era. So you can kind of see, where my head's at with where this new album is. I think if you're a fan of this, what we call the Mark Tornillo era, this album is a really good album, but it's nothing new. I will tell you that. A little bit of samey in here for sure, but there is definitely some good stuff on it. I probably mentioned it in the past. Wolf Hoffman is one of my favorite guitar players of all time. Love his guitar tone. And so here it is. Like I said, 17th studio album. Now this is the first that they are on Napalm Records. They left Nuclear Blast. A lot of these bands are flip-flopping too. I know Exodus has also left Nuclear Blast to join Napalm Records, which is okay. You got those labels like Napalm, Atomic Fire would be another one, SPV. Some of these bands do flip-flop. But let's start off with this album cover, and something I noticed, you can't help but to notice the metal heart in the Humanoid right there. A throwback to an awesome album in my opinion. And then the whole actual window here or background out to the city behind is the metal heart. So here's the back cover, all the credits. This one is a gatefold. So live, these guys are a 6-piece, but this lineup here this is only the second album with this lineup, with Martin Montnick taking over on bass for Peter Baltes, which you probably know, Peter is now in U.D.O. So, excuse me, I came home from a trip with a little bit of a cold, so bear with me. Like I said, as you probably know, Peter is in U.D.O. now, so technically the U.D.O. band has more original members than Accept. So Wolf is the only remaining member in Accept, where you have Peter and U.D.O. in the U.D.O. band. But like I said, there's room for both. Who else? You got Yuva Lulis on guitar. So he's been with them since he came in after the Blind Rage album. Christopher Williams on drums, excellent drummer. Mark on vocals, of course, and I already mentioned Wolf. Live, I really have no idea why they would add a third guitarist live, which their other live guitarist is Philip Schaus. He did appear on the album jacket of Too Mean to Die, but not on this one. There is some credits in here, which we'll go over. I picked up the black vinyl version. There is the center ring, same on both sides. And the lyric sheet, which I'll probably refer to a little bit of some of these lyrics, but there is the metal heart again and the lineup, and it does indicate that additional guitars by Philip Schaus, produced mixed by Andy Sneap, which is now the 6th album in a row that they work with Andy Sneap. And that's where you get into that little bit of samey, in my opinion. And you know what? Accept isn't the only band guilty of this, using same producers or, just kind of a cookie cutter way. But like I said, this is a good album, and we'll go through the tracks. What else can I tell you about this? So besides the little mini ranking that I will do at the end, I'm also going to update my Accept ranking. Yeah, so started off with the first single. Humanoid came out, I think just a few months ago, probably 3 months ago. And my first reaction was, you know what, this is a little generic sounding, but that track has really grown on me. Then the second track that they released was The Reckoning, one of the heavier tracks on the album for sure. What song is that? 1, 2, that is song 5. What did I say about that? The Reckoning, though, it starts with more of a little bit of a clinical, over-processed riff, but it kicks in. When Mark he goes, Horseman Ride, and then it just goes right into the track. Throughout this album, in the multiple times that I've listened to it, I'm hearing so many, with Wolf's guitar and the guitar tone and the things he adds in and little, I don't know, I call them mini solos, just little guitar intricacies that's thrown in here. Like I said, you hear something new every time. And then just lately, actually just days before the release of this album, which was August 26th, they put out the song Frankenstein. Now, if you can kind of get past the lyrics and, the Frankenstein lyrics, the opening riff for that, to me, is the best riff on this album. It is excellent. Actually, Uwe Lulis had a writing credit on that album, and it's awesome. That one really kicks in the chorus. There's lots of catchy hooks on this album, and that's what gets the build up to the chorus sometimes. And we'll talk a little bit lyrically, because some of these lyrics, I'll tell you, they don't do the music any favors, but and we'll get into that. But yeah, so it kicks in with Diving into Sin, kind of an Eastern flare guitar, and then it ends, the outro is exactly the same, but then after the intro, it just moves into just typical what you'd expect from Accept over these past 6 albums. Excellent track. Then you go to track 4, which is a bit of a letdown to me. The song is Man Up. The solo in it is really good. I'll give it that, but just lyrically, I forget, how did this start? Sometimes life will hit you like a brick to the head, knock you down, cover you up with a ton of lead. A lot of rhyming for rhyming's sake. And like I said, I'm more of a music guy than a lyric guy anyways, so I can look past some of the cheese or the corniness in the lyrics. But yeah, Man Up, not one of my favorites. Then it goes into the song The Reckoning, which we already mentioned. Side B, Nobody Gets Out Alive. It actually reminds me of a track on the last album, Too Mean to Die, called Overnight Sensation, minus any mention of a Kardashian. That was absolutely a low point in lyric history. But yeah, great track, very catchy chorus. Again, the riffing throughout this album is awesome. I would say, and Martin Montnick does a great job on bass. I will say also that after Peter left after the album The Rise of Chaos, what they did lose when Peter left, besides an excellent bass player and one of my favorite bass players of all time, but what you lost there is some excellent backing vocals. As you know, early Accept, Peter sings probably, all in all, in the whole Accept catalog, I think Peter probably sings 8 songs, 7 or 8, something like that, all on his own. He has a great voice. So yeah, so the U.D.O band has definitely gained an awesome member. But they do get by on the backing vocals. Wolf also has a very distinct voice, but those gang vocals on those early Accept albums, that would be missing for sure. But those are some of those legendary albums. Ravages of Time, basically just a kind of a metal slow ballad. Again, probably one of my least favorites on the album. It would be comparable to a song what was that song called? on Too Mean to Die. The best is yet to come. It's kind of just a recycled, as far as I'm concerned. Then you get into two of my absolute favorite tracks. That is Unbreakable, is kind of like just a metal anthem. What did I put down for that one? Yeah, and the solo is awesome on that one. Unbreakable is just kind of a, yeah, you hear the guitars roar, the crowd. There's actually some, a tiny bit of live crowd noise near the end of the song. Really good. Then into Mind Games, which really reminded me of, I would say, well, stuff on Blood of the Nations, or even going back as far as to Russian Roulette. Yeah, Mind Games is a killer song. What did I put down there? Yeah, one of my favorites on the album for sure. And then you get into probably one of the lowest points for me on this album would be Straight Up Jack, which is just something you would hear on a 90s AC/DC album. It's a drinking song, and it's funny because Wolf doesn't even drink. He's been off of alcohol for quite a few years. But anyways, yeah, just kind of a song where they threw some lyrics in there, and it's, like I said, it's kind of a 90s AC/DC type of track, but it's really not that great. Don't be checking that one out if you're only going to check out one track. And then this one ends up with South Side of Hell, which is the heaviest track on the album. Starts off with and sprinkled in this album are those classical, if you've ever listened to Wolf's last solo album with the classical remakes of old classical songs, that starts off with that riff, and then right into, like I said, the fastest song. It closes off with the heaviest, definitely the heaviest track on the album, and lyrically not bad at all. But there is, like I said earlier in the video, there are some lyrics here that they're just kind of filling the gaps to get to the chorus. But I don't want to tell you that this is a shitty album. It is not. I really enjoyed it. I've listened to it multiple times, probably in the neighborhood of 15, 16 times already since Friday when it came out. But all in all, a good album. And like I said, if you like what they've been doing since 2010, there would be no reason that you wouldn't like this album. What else did I write down here? And yes, I will definitely do that updated accept ranking. The Judas Priest one will be first for sure, but let's see where this one holds up in the little mini ranking. And today we'll go from my favorite of the new era till my least favorite. So starting off with the Comeback album, 2010. Let's slip this out of here. We got a bit of a glare going here. So this is Blood of the Nations. This is when we still had Stefan Schwartzman on drums, Herman Frank, who is, I don't think they lost anything when Herman left the band, because Uwe Lulis is an excellent guitar player too. Schwartzman, a great drummer, but this is still my favorite of the Mark Tornillo era. Lyrically, man, they were on point then. You got such great tracks like Teutonic Terror, Blood of the Nations, the title track. But my favorite track on here is Pandemic. If you've never heard this album, go check out Pandemic. So that's number one. Number two is 2014's Blind Rage. Just an awesome album. Love this cover artwork too. What can I tell you about this one? So this one is the last actually to feature Herman Frank and Stefan Schwartzman on guitars, second guitar player and drums, but heavy duty album, lyrically just awesome. Check out the opening track, Stampede, awesome. Dark Side of My Heart. Two other of my really favorite songs on here is 200 Years, and there you can really hear Peter, 200 Years After Midnight, and again, I'm not a singer, but great song. And where is it? Final Journey. That's a great track to wrap that one up. So that's number two. And Number 3, coming in at number 3 out of the 6 is their second of the comeback albums, Stalingrad, with same lineup as Blind Rage, Wolf, Peter, Mark, Herman, and Stefan Schwartzman. This is, these top 3 are, and I will mention that they kind of dip down after that a little bit, but yeah, again, hung, drawn, and quartered, the opening track, super heavy, awesome. Title track's really good. A couple of my favorites on here, Twist of Fate, great track, and Shadow Soldiers. Check that one out. I think they still play that one live to this day. And coming in at number 4 is the brand new album, Humanoid. So that's where I got that one slotted, just above the next one, obviously. We'll show you that one too. But, and again, I don't know if I mentioned it, but this cover artwork is done by the same guy that's done the past 3 and the next 2 that I'll show you. So, and I really do love this cover. I love that Metal Heart throwback. Coming in at number 5 is 2021's Too Mean to Die, which was my second favorite album cover of that year, just behind Exodus's Persona Non Grata. That was a great cover too. But yeah, I would just say Humanoid right now is ranking a little bit above this one. Humanoid, in a way, is just a continuation of this. They have, what I want to call kind of half serious lyrical stuff, and then half, kind of thrown together, whatever. And again, not terrible, but there's number 5. Leaving one left, and this is kind of, this one is where they kind of slid off a bit, and after this, Peter had left the band. This album, coming in number 6, is The Rise of Chaos, came out in 2017, and then Peter left the band in 2018, and then in comes Martin Motnick. But yeah, love the album cover. There are some couple of great tracks on here that I do really enjoy. Kool-Aid being one of them, corny title and stuff. But my favorite track is kind of a looser lyric stuff is called Analog Man. I just really enjoy that one. It's kind of like a throwback song, but there's number 6. But yeah, so not bad. Check out the brand new studio album from Accept, 17th studio album, and kind of ranking in the middle of the pack with the new stuff. Like I said, if you like what they've been doing, there's probably no reason you wouldn't like this. So let me know in the comments, have you picked it up? Have you heard it? What's your thoughts? Tell me which is your favorite of the Mark Tornillo era. Always love hearing from you guys. And until next time, stay heavy.